Hi guys and welcome back to the Average Pundits podcast, your home for all things Premier League. God, what episode are we on now, Reese?
Oh, are we? It's 18, I
18.
think. I believe 18. And what an episode 18 we have for you today.
Yeah, we do have a good one. At the moment, we are currently in Premier League limbo. We've had a bit of a weird break session in the football, so we'll have a few more games to predict from. I believe it's match day 26. We'll have a few more games to predict at the end of this.
And
A couple of interesting topics, but first things first, Reese. As always, should we go through the games that have happened so far?
Indeed, we shall.
Everton, Crystal Palace. There's a 3-1 win for Everton there.
Very surprising, I think, with the run of form that Everton were on before. But then I forget that Everton were taken over by Ancelotti, and he's a fantastic manager.
He is a great manager.
He seems to have lifted the Brazilians in the team, Bernard and Richarlison.
Yeah.
They're both scoring phenomenal goals.
Calvert-Lewin's still up there. I mean, Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have had, I think, between them, close to 25 goals.
They are, at this point, they are, they've got a new lease of life in them, to be fair. I think Richarlison is one of those people that's, he's a very good leader. I mean, he was quite immature in his Watford days, and
that was a main criticism of him, wasn't it?
Very, very early in his Watford and also in his early coming into Everton. But he's really stepped up, and I think Ancelotti coming in has really helped Calvert-Lewin. He's really nurturing Calvert-Lewin into the player that he is at the moment.
I reckon Richarlison's someone who has the potential to go off elsewhere. I don't know if maybe even a larger Prem club would come for him, but I feel like he's going to end up leaving at some point. I think it's like 11 goals and 4 assists he's on.
Yeah, I can see him playing for, I don't know, Atletico Madrid. I think he's a type of player that can maybe end up there, or a Milan club.
Yeah.
Maybe in the Serie A somewhere, or maybe a French club, Lyon.
Seems like someone that he's that kind of player who would probably maybe be prone to a move.
Maybe not a top club, like an Everton-sized club in another country that he can elevate another club. With a bit more money. Well,
all in all, that was a pretty standard game for Everton, really. They pretty much dominated that game. Palace had slightly more possession, but shots on target. It was 14 shots, 8 on target for Everton. A comfortable little win. Christian Benteke getting back on the score sheet.
I was going to say, Benteke has not scored in a while.
Did you see the goal? It was that Pickford mistake.
Pickford is very prone to mistakes at the moment.
It was bad.
This is why I think we should replace him as England's number one. I do not think he should be anywhere near that spot, if I'm honest.
I think it's now kind of like,
it's evidently clear that
he's going to be dropping that spot.
Yeah, it's a strange position to be in for Pickford, because obviously we all have the good memories tied into the World Cup and his penalty saves, his fantastic performances, and we sort of look through rose-tinted glasses at that team.
Yeah.
Whereas we can't now pick through the weaknesses of that team. Like it was, what is his name?
Which one?
Trippier.
With Kieran Trippier.
Kieran Trippier. He was probably one of the worst players on the team. Jordan Pickford was, he was defended by a decent backline, let's say. But I think that now that we've seen him play for a year and a half, not in that England setup with a worse backline, we can start to pick apart what Jordan Pickford is actually about, to be fair.
Yeah, it's interesting to see if he'll be able to dig himself out of this hole. Moving on, Watford Brighton on the Saturday. It was a 1-1 draw.
Yes, very back and forth for this game. Abdoulaye Doucouré was quite all around the pitch, to be fair, netting Watford's only goal. And Adrian Mariappa was the scorer of the own goal for Brighton, the Jamaican centre-back.
It's pretty uninteresting game, really. There's not really too much to discuss.
No.
I mean, Brighton were up on the stats, but Watford are kind of stagnant right now. Are we going to see Watford go down, do you reckon?
I think that it's only a matter of time before Watford go down, and these players like Abdoulaye Doucouré, Gerard Deulofeu, Will Hughes are picked up by other teams that maybe are coming up, like Leeds or West Brom, or maybe teams like Crystal Palace and Southampton, those that are like mid-table sides that they think they can offer a bit more to the squads.
Deulofeu he just reminds me of Shaqiri, not exactly in their game as a winger, but just in the fact of the kind of career they've had and the kind of weird journey they've been on. Because obviously both talented players, but just a really random selection of teams and a kind of events which led them to where they are now.
I mean, yeah, Decore starting in Barcelona's B team, getting promoted to the A team.
Delafeu, mate. Delafeu.
Delafeu.
You said Decore.
Did I?
Big Decore, mate, yeah.
Did I say
I don't
Decore?
think he's had a sniff at Barca.
You know what? It's
Well,
been a long day. It's been a long day so far.
He might have done, I don't know.
Delafeu started in Barcelona B, going to Barcelona A, then taking the trips to... he's ended up at Watford now.
I mean, he's had a very typical career. A lot of Spanish players that come up through that Barcelona B team, you know, Barca had such a, I would say, a bad habit of keeping these players in limbo.
Yeah.
Because there's so many talented players coming up through there, and then they'll re-sign them on these little clauses they embed, and then they'll not use them and sign them again. It's a weird...
It's going to be like this to this Carlos Elena, Abel Ruiz that's coming up as well. They're both two very young players at Barcelona's. Like, they did come through Barcelona's B team, sort of in the A team now, but they're not doing anything. They're quite stagnant.
Yeah.
Metaphorical, really, because Watford are quite stagnant at the minute. So it's only a matter of time before they ship off these players that haven't played for a while, and they're going to end up maybe like Delafeu, where they a team that can't really show their talents that much.
Man City West Ham. That's an... Oh, wait a minute, it was postponed. Yeah, that game was postponed due to the weather. So at the moment we are...
Damn you, Storm Chiara!
Yeah, literally. Well, at the moment we're not massively sure when that game is going to be. It's still to be decided.
Yeah.
When listening to this podcast, we may have some more information when that game's going to be played. But for now, I think we all know that the direction that's going to go.
Yeah, I think that my prediction still stands about 3-0. You said 5-0 to Manchester City. I don't think West Ham stand a chance.
I don't think it's going to be pretty. Sheffield United Bournemouth, a 2-1 win from Sheffield. My God, Chris Wilder, what a manager.
I mean, this takes them up to 5th.
What's he doing? I don't understand what he's doing.
This takes them up to 5th. Bournemouth are a good side. I mean, and to have netted the goals from Billy Sharp and Lundstrom.
Lundstrom had a really good goal.
Yeah,
really
he just had a really good game. Lundstrom was all over the pitch as well. It was like Decore in the Watford game. He was phenomenal this game. You know, you can't help but look in awe at the Sheffield side. Like, the last time Sheffield United were in the Premier League, they were a shambles, and you look at them now and they're leaps and bounds.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Chris Wilder is one of the better English managers out there right now.
It'll be interesting because obviously you get this kind of record, people are going to come poking around for the manager.
Yeah.
It's hard in this Sheffield team. It's something we'll come on to later in the podcast. For me, it's hard to pick standout players in this team. I thought they just gel extremely well, but it'll be interesting how they conduct themselves in the summer.
Yeah,
because I'm predicting a high finish for them, possibly even a European spot. And if they get that, they're going to have to bring people in the summer. They're going to have to. They're going to have to spend money as well, because that is where so many clubs fail. It's like they'll have an amazing run, they'll possibly even get European football, and they do not have the transfer window afterwards to keep up with it.
I mean, they signed that Sanderberg.
Yeah.
So I think that they're already making very good leaps in that situation. He came on in the 60th minute for this game, and obviously they went on to win.
Yeah.
So he can only have positive impacts, and he can only go upwards. He's a very young Norwegian. He's almost 22 now.
Yeah,
he's very, very young. He's made 2 appearances. I think he's just he can only help this side progress.
I mean, the way it's going, we could be seeing European football come to Bramall Lane, so it'll be interesting to see at the end of this season where Sheffield end up.
Yeah.
But for now, those are the games which have been through so far. Obviously, the Man City West Ham game still to be spoken about, and we will carry on our predictions for Matchday 26 at the end of this podcast.
Yes.
And as always, we will progress. This week, we are excluding the hype train.
Yes.
For this week, because we have a very big topic.
We only exclude the hype train for important topics, and I think this is quite an important topic that we need to raise.
It's definitely a good one. It's something which there's going to be a lot of to and fro, and maybe a couple of punches.
Well, I mean, we're going to have a scrap here at some point.
There's going to be some kind of fight.
There's going to be blood.
It's going to be an interesting topic. We're going to go through the Premier League, and we're going to attribute the best player at each side. This is opinion based. This is done through, literally, like I said, personal opinion, basing it off a few statistics as well. But right now, this is my opinion, and this is Reese's opinion. and you guys are going to have your opinions as well, and this is something which we would love you to get involved in, so please leave your comments, leave your Instagram messages, email us, get a hold of us on Twitter, social media. Please contact us and give us your thoughts on where this is going to go. We will include all of the social media at the end of the podcast, as always.
Indeed.
So the way we're going to do this is we're going to look at the Premier League. We're going to start from the bottom, start from the relegation slots, and we're going to move all the way up to the top, and we are going to try and pick just one player from each club in terms of how their best player. So it's going to be tough. But without further ado, Reece, do you want to kick it off with the very bottom of the Premier League, number 20, Norwich City?
Now, Norwich City are quite a hard team to pick because they are having the very melodramatic season that... I mean, everyone thought at the start of the season they might start well with Pukki, scoring all those goals. I don't think that Pukki's their best player at the moment. I've gone for a very young and developing decision here. I've gone with the very young English right back, Max Aarons.
Okay, interesting. I'll say from the get-go, that's not who I have.
Yeah.
I've gone with Todd Cantwell.
Yes, Cantwell is he's being spoken about very lightly.
Two very young players at Norwich, two very good players. What made you pick Aarons?
I just think that he has a lot of potential to grow. Maybe, of course, not at Norwich. That is for certain. But I think he has a lot of comparisons to what Reece James is doing at Chelsea. Both have, they're both young English right backs with a lot of promise. I just think that him in this Norwich side is like a diamond in the rough. Him and Cantwell. It was a very hard decision to make for me to put Max Aarons in over Cantwell, but I think that defensively he's fantastic. He's quick. He's a good distributor of the ball when he's giving it from either Krul or Farman, and he's a good hand to run forward with the ball as well and support the right midfield as well to overlap.
Yeah.
I think he's just got a very bright future. I think he needs to move away from this dying Norwich team and maybe bump up the table a little bit. Maybe he needs to go to Wolves or Newcastle, Crystal Palace, to really emphasise that he's a good player.
I think that Cantwell and Aarons are probably the two most salvageable players in that team. It wasn't long ago that we were seeing Aarons being linked with a lot of clubs in the Premier League. There was a lot of clubs hunting for a right back. I think the most links I saw, because I think Manchester United were very solidified on Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Yes.
Tottenham were coming in for him because the situation they've got a right back. I still think they're in need of a full back. I was surprised they didn't sign one in January.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if we saw Aarons end up at Tottenham. Wouldn't surprise me at all, because it seems like the kind of player they need and the kind of player which they can get the most out of.
I mean, he's kept 4 clean sheets this season.
Yeah.
In a struggling Norwich side, he's managed to help that. I mean, his duels, with wingers coming up against him, is obviously hard because he's a young player.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily the strongest, but he's definitely quick. So he's lost more one-on-one duels than he has won. I mean, he wins quite a few aerial battles. He wins a quarter of his aerial battles, which, I mean, for a right back is not that bad. For a centre back, that would be very worrying, like a David Luiz-esque type player.
Yeah, that wouldn't be ideal.
But again, he creates a lot of passes in games and long balls. He's quite good.
I reckon with Cantwell, obviously you've got a midfielder, but mainly being put out on the wing, but obviously he can attacking midfield and central midfield positions as well. He's been known to fill. I think because of how rare at the moment the English winger is, the good English wingers right now. I mean, they're there, but I mean, like the ones that we're talking about at the moment at the forefront is your Sterlings, your Sanchos.
Yeah.
The multi-million pound kind of players. So I feel like an English winger is always something which is quite liked in top tier football.
Yeah.
I feel like Cantwell's going to get saved. I feel like he's going to get picked up by a big club.
I think so.
I don't think it's even going to be mid-table. I think it's going to be one of the top 6.
I mean, he's again just under 22.
He seems like exactly the kind of player that Leicester are going to pick up. Exactly. That's
a very good. I mean, didn't Maddison come from Norwich?
He did, yeah. Maddison had the exact same climb. he seems like exactly the kind of player. I know Manchester United were apparently sniffing around Todd Cantwell, but who aren't Manchester United allegedly sniffing around against everyone?
He made his debut this season for Norwich. He scored 6 goals. I think he's got 2 assists.
Yeah, 2 assists so far.
I think he's only going to blossom as a player. But for me, I think that the younger the player and the more performances as a younger player, I think you've got more growing room. And I think Max Aaron's just kind of he sort of is starting ahead of Canwell with that. I believe Aaron's might have played more games in the Championship last year. He made his Premier League debut this year, but he's been with Norwich for I think it's 2 years maybe. I'm not too sure on dates, but I think he started quite a few games. There's a lot more a lot more to look at with Max Aarons, and I do think he might get picked up again. Maybe Sheffield United will poke around for him.
Yeah,
that'd be a good pickup for them to pursue their European.
Where are we? If we had to kind of solidify one of these, where are we leaning towards? Would you stick by Aarons? Would you be swayed by Cantwell?
I think I might stick by Max Aarons just because of. I think the right back position is a very important position, especially when you look at the top tier teams when they've got like very good right backs. Like Tottenham at the minute, they don't have a good right back. Arsenal, not really a good right back. And then you look at these other teams that do have very good right backs,
like lower down in the league.
Yeah, like. When Crystal Palace had Aaron Wan-Bissaka, they were fantastic. They were so hard to break down.
Yeah.
And now he's gone to Manchester United. Manchester United now have a really good right back, but they are lacking the other wing back.
Yeah.
In the left back position. So the wing backs are very important positions.
Yeah.
Like centre midfielders can be replaced. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Right midfielders, left midfielders, they can be replaced. You cannot really replace a world class or promising right back, in my opinion.
No, I think you swayed me, mate. I think we can solidify with Aarons at Norwich.
Max Aarons.
If you guys thought possibly Cantwell, like I said, let us know. But we will be moving on. Number 19 in the Premier League, we've got Watford. This was tough.
Yeah, it is quite.
I've got someone, but again, it's really hard to say. Best player, it's difficult. Who have you got, Reese?
I have gone for someone that we have actually previously mentioned, Gerard Deulofeu, for obviously right midfielder. His journey has been, quite up and down.
Yeah.
But he is still just, he's around 26.
He's a really good player. I mean, we've all seen what he can do. I feel like you said, he's such a journeyman. But before this, this podcast kind of started, we were comparing him to Shaqiri. In the sense of his weird career, not necessarily in their right wing playing style, but in terms of the weird climb and downs they've had in their careers. So I can see definitely a point from that. I've also gone for a right winger. I've gone for Sarr, the young 21-year-old from Senegal. I think he's come in. I think he looks like a really interesting player.
Yep.
He's played 16 Premier League games. He's had 3 goals and 3 assists. Good for a young player slotting in. Already he's kind of getting a lot of attention around him. There's estimated transfer fees of around 24 million. They're poking around for him.
That'd be a steal, I think, for such a caliber of player. I think he's a Spurs type of player. Because Lamella's coming towards the end of his tenure there, and who else has Spurs got at right midfield?
They've just signed Bergwijn. They've signed Bergwijn, but I mean, weirdly, Lucas isn't a right winger anymore.
That's true. That's so true. Maybe he's not a Spurs player. Maybe he's maybe Sheffield United. Who knows? Maybe Sheffield United, right, in the summer are going to sign so many young, talented players like Max Aarons, Ismaila Sarr. Maybe a few other people that might be going down, and they might have a fantastic team by the end of the year.
I would be extremely gutted to see a lot of these players not get picked up.
Yeah,
because they deserve to be playing Premier League football.
Ismaila Sarr especially, he's a phenomenal talent. He was before he came to the Premier League. He was always touted to be one of the more promising players, and still at 22 years of age, I think that he's going to be fantastic.
Yeah,
but I think more established Gerard Deulofeu He's one of those players that is well touted. I think, again, like Shaqiri, I think he was a bit younger than Shaqiri when Liverpool picked him up. Maybe around the same age, but
I mean, he joined for 27 million.
Yeah.
At the moment, transfer market value him, like I said earlier, around the 24 million slot. I don't necessarily think Watford are gonna, if they are going down, I don't think they're gonna get massive amounts for him. I feel like that the money that they would cash in for him is going to be needed, because it's going to be extremely hard to keep all of these players there. But I do think he's probably going to go if Watford leave, even though he has joined so recently.
I think honourable mentions do go out to Troy Deeney, Andre Gray, and especially Abdoulaye Doucouré that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
I think he's a phenomenal talent. He will definitely get picked up in the summer. Maybe even Roberto Pereira.
Yeah, there are definitely really good players at Watford. It's just can't seem to translate it, can they?
No, they can't really work together as a team. And I think if you look at that side, they should be able to. But again, no.
But it's Deulofeu or Sarr, isn't it? That's the argument right now.
I think it's too early in Sarr's career to say, like. But then that can also be said for Max Aarons. I think if you're looking at both of their careers side by side, I think Deulofeu might edge it. But then come back to us at the end of the season, Ismaila Sarr might be the guy in Watford, and he might have rescued them, if I'm honest.
Deulofeu's only 25.
He's 25.
He's only 25, and his career is absolutely crazy. Coming out through the Barcelona team, like we said, got promoted. The Everton loan.
Of course,
Barca.
yeah.
So he's been to Sevilla.
Yes.
Back to Everton, AC Milan, Watford. It's absolutely crazy.
Yep.
Crazy stuff.
I think that if Palace can keep Zaha and build a team around him, Palace could be in for Deulofeu, and what a tangent that would be.
That would be really interesting to see.
Zaha and Deulofeu. Maybe another striker for Palace as well.
Could cause absolutely devastating issues.
I think that'd be pretty naughty.
Be interesting to see.
Proper naughty.
All right, we're gonna go for Deulofeu there. I think we're gonna go for Deulofeu. I'd say.
Yeah, if you want to.
I think I'd agree. I think right now I'd probably say Sarr for the talent, and I think Deulofeu for the Sarr for the future, Deulofeu for now.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about West Ham, number 18?
West Ham, I've gone for a player that's not really is starting to hit his stride now this season.
Yeah.
But for West Ham in total, he's had 55 appearances, 10 goals. The Brazilian Felipe Anderson.
I haven't gone for the same.
Have you not? Have you gone for their French striker?
I have gone for the French
Sebastian
striker.
Haller.
I think Felipe Anderson's kind of. He's not really got the hype around him anymore, in my opinion. I don't know. I feel like when he was at Lazio, the links to West Ham were coming in, and it was crazy. It was like, West Ham aren't going to sign Felipe Anderson. He's going to go to a top club, surely.
Yeah.
And then they do end up getting him for, what was it? It was around like 40-something million. They paid a lot of money for him.
They paid a lot.
And then Haller broke that record with like the 50 million.
Yeah. Was
it 50 million?
Yeah, it was around
it was something like that, wasn't it? They paid a lot of money for him.
They did pay a lot of money.
So Haller coming in, I think it's really hard for me personally to argue that he isn't their most valuable player. I mean, Haller's so young as well. I mean, again, he's only 25.
He had where did they come from? Was it Dusseldorf?
When Haller came into the Prem? It was from Frankfurt.
Was it Frankfurt?
Yeah.
I get confused with a lot of Bundesliga clubs, to be honest.
Yeah, it's Frankfurt when he came.
It was Frankfurt where him and Jovic had the big partnership, and they both rose up together.
Yeah.
And to have both of them so valuable after that one season, but one in a dying club and one in a very thriving club. Yeah, they're both kind of performing the same. They haven't really scored too many goals. Like Haller scored 6. I'm not sure what tally Jovic is on. I think
Jovic he's getting frozen out of Real Madrid. They're not very keen on him at all.
I think he might be chucked back somewhere.
Yeah, I think he wants to play, but he's come out saying a few times he's not really happy there, and I can't really blame him. When they signed him, the first thing I said was, well, that's his career down the pan.
Yeah, I think it was too early to say. Maybe he should have stayed in the Bundesliga, if I'm honest.
Yeah, far too early, I would have said. But right now, in the 1920 Premier League season that we're currently in, Felipe Anderson started 19 games and he's only had 5 goal contributions. He's had a goal and he's had 4 assists.
4 assists. I mean,
Haller's averaging in 24 starts. He's had 6 goals and 2 assists. So he's not exactly, hitting them heights of the other players.
I mean, for a striker, he's not hitting that much. I think people would have touted him to get at least 10 goals by now.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that Danny Ings would be outscoring Haller? Right?
It was 36 million was the official fee that he joined for. I thought it was closer to 50.
Yeah, maybe that was with add-ons or something.
I mean, he's got. I mean, he's currently averaging around. You know, he's probably like a 40 million valuation. He's definitely, when you come to the Premier League, you definitely kind of increase your stature.
I do think Haller's got a lot of room to grow. I think Anderson's about to hit his peak. That's the thing.
Yeah, he's. I feel like he's very. It's worrying for him. I'd be worried because West Ham, I don't think, is a club where you necessarily make your name. I feel like it's a lot of times where you start and where you finish or where you stagnate.
Yeah, I mean, like
that's harsh to say to such a big club like West Ham, but it's
like Mikel Antonio is, you know, he's not really a big name anymore.
No, there was a time where he was really spoken about. And now
you know, Jack Wilshere again.
Yeah.
He's ended up there. Ogbonna. Like, you do end your career. Like Pablo Zabaleta as well. He's gone there and he's sort of ending his career. Cresswell should move away before.
I think Cresswell's an honourable mention personally. I was almost thinking of putting Cresswell down, but I feel like that might have been a bit too controversial.
I was also
he's a good player.
Considering Pablo Fornals.
I think he's young. I think he's young, and I think he's got time to come into his own. But he's another very interesting player. I think everyone. I was quite surprised when they signed him. I thought it was going to be one of those situations where it's like, Barcelona are going to sign him and then loan him to 10 billion clubs before he actually gets a game.
I mean, he's a Spanish player, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Again, same with Fornals. I mean, a goal and 3 assists he's got, and it's at the moment West Ham. These 3 names. You know that you can expect more from them. I think more's to come. Personally, I think Haller's got to have this one.
I think you might have swayed me there. I think Felipe Anderson's passed it. Although there is only a year between the two. Haller's 25.
That is true.
But I think Haller's got a bit more time to develop into a player that can actually score goals in the Premier League. Maybe get 15 a season.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like if West Ham managed to get some kind of level.
Yeah,
you know, but David Moyes is the kind of manager who keeps a team up anyway. Maybe not in the most emphatic style, but we'll have to see.
Yeah,
but I think Haller's got that one. The Premier League number 17 spot, Aston Villa, just outside of the relegation zone. They're in a worrying predicament, Aston Villa at the moment. But there are a lot of good players at that team. I personally think that there's honourable mentions, but I think there's only one person who gets it. I don't know if you'd agree with me here.
I know who yours is.
Yeah.
I think there's one player that either comes close or just edges. It's the tangent of both the Villas, like the heart of Villa at the minute.
So, you've gone for McGinn. I've
Yes.
gone for Grealish.
I do think that. I think that might just be biased because I like McGinn more than Grealish.
I'm a massive fan of McGinn. I feel like his game's been really good. I feel like Grealish is such a hated footballer. I mean, he especially around the Midlands. Obviously, we're in the Midlands,
Currently.
so we're currently recording this, and you don't have to. You know, you have half of the Midlands love him, the other half despise him.
Yeah.
So he's an interesting player, but but the one thing you cannot deny is that he's a good player. I mean, I feel like I've possibly looked down on Grealish for a long time. Maybe I haven't been showing him the attention he deserves, because this season he has been very, very, very good for them.
He has. I mean, you look at the way that he's playing. I mean, he's been fantastic in quite a few of their games. I mean, McGinn started the season well, but I think the constant of this Villa side has been Jack Grealish. I think I do have a bit more bias when it comes to looking at Grealish. I mean, I'm not very fond of the lad in the way that he carries himself. But you can't deny that he's had 13 goal contributions this season.
Yeah.
Whereas McGinn has only had, 5?
I feel like I'm getting it really... I think a bit more higher profile, but I'm getting really similar vibes to Andy Robertson and Maguire when they were at Hull.
Yeah.
It was a team which, again, you do expect more from Villa, but there's still a chance Villa could go down.
Yeah.
I feel like Maguire and Robertson were both poached under everyone's noses. Everyone could see what was in front of them, and yet no one really reacted. And the two teams that did, with Leicester and Liverpool took it in and reaped the rewards.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to estimate how much Robertson's worth now as a left back. Currently the best
80?
left back in the league.
80?
Yeah.
In the world, maybe.
Again, possibly he's up there. I feel like he's best left back in the league, 100%.
He has been this year, by far.
And then obviously Maguire going for that 80 million move to Manchester United, and he is a good player. I mean, I feel like Maguire is gonna come into his own. He's a good leader.
Yeah.
And I feel like both of them. I'm getting very similar vibes with McGinn and Grealish.
I think we can. I can take off my bias, and I can fully agree that with statistics, maybe Jack Grealish for Aston Villa.
I feel like McGinn's had brilliant, some brilliant games for Villa so far this season, but I think Grealish gets it personally.
Yeah, I can agree.
Headlines at the moment around Grealish are saying that a possible move to Manchester United in the summer will happen. Manchester United linked with James Maddison and Jack Grealish, two young English midfielders.
Yeah.
It'd be very interesting to see, where they kind of slot in. Grealish obviously playing most of his stuff on the left wing this season. I'm interested to see what goes with that. That could possibly be a very good little acquisition.
Yeah, I think it might be. Like for Manchester United, they need wingers, they need firepower, and I think that's the way to go, I reckon.
What about Bournemouth? Bournemouth currently sit in number 16 in the Premier League, the 16th place spot.
There's two players that I do think deserve the spot, and I don't know whether I can distinguish which one I want.
I struggled with this. I really struggled with this as well. I've got a couple of names down, but I really struggled.
I'm going to go for...
I want to hear your names, and I want to hear who you're leading with.
So both of them is... So I think I'm more leaning towards Nathan Ake.
Okay.
But I also have Ryan Fraser.
I can also say that Nathan Ake is who I'm leading with.
Yes.
And I also had Callum Wilson.
Callum Wilson is a very good shout. And also Josh King.
Yeah. Hell of a player. I mean, Josh King, again, we're talking about, going back to, talk about Manchester United, apparently a failed deadline day move.
Yeah.
Was going to happen. I think he came out saying it was close to happening. He was a bit disappointed it didn't happen. Josh King originally came up through Manchester United.
Yeah.
I thought that would have made a little bit more sense than Ighalo.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It would still been strange. I mean, Ighalo's been very active on social media, showing his development stuff. It'd be interesting to see where that goes. But Josh King, I feel like is a very good player as well. But
yeah,
I did have Nathan Ake at the forefront of this, and I had Wilson as well.
I don't think you can look past Nathan Ake.
I really like him.
Give Ake the tools to work with. Apparently, according to was it Ramsdale? I think it was Aaron Ramsdale. He gave an interview, and apparently he is so good. Like he's quick. It's evident that he's very good on the pitch. You can't look past, like, he could be sticking with a good centre back.
Yeah,
maybe.
To me, he screams Tottenham. He screams Tottenham to me.
Or he could get put in that Arsenal team and change it completely. Put him with maybe put him with David Luiz so he can, like, Ake can stay back. He has that leadership quality that Van Dijk has.
I feel as Bournemouth's arguably most valuable player, he would be tough to get out of that club. Because I think Eddie Howe obviously puts a lot into him and he gets a lot out of them. So I feel like he would be an amazing acquisition. But you pay the price. I think you're looking at around. He's probably like a 30 to 35 million pound player, but I reckon you pay more for that.
Yeah, 45.
So around 40, I reckon he gets.
But I mean, he's won more duels than he's lost. He's good at recovering the ball. Yeah. Very good at interceptions.
He's had a couple of goals as well this season.
Yeah, he's a very good player, to be honest. He's had a couple of goals. One from, I think it was a corner. The other one with his left foot.
Are we going to agree Nathan Ake with this
Absolutely.
one? I don't think there's much argument there.
You can't look past Nathan Ake, if I'm honest. He's a great player.
Moving on again. So Bournemouth are sat in 16th and 15th. You've got Brighton. This was another tough club to deal. But I have a name. I have a singular name.
I have one, but then I have potential two more.
Okay.
My one, Big Glenn Murray.
That's not. I can say that's not who I have, but I tell you what, I get it. I do get it.
I
mean, my tastes lie a bit more towards the back of the team. I've gone for Lewis Dunk.
Yeah, that was my leading one. I just thought I'd see what your reaction was to
just put Murray in the mix
to Glenn Murray.
I've got a lot of time for Glenn Murray.
Lewis Dunk is a fantastic defender. Yeah. My other one actually is Neil Mapai, the guy that came from Brentford last season. He tore up the Championship last year and he's come into this Brighton side, and I mean he's scored quite a few goals.
Yeah,
he scored 7 this season, and contributed. He's got 9 goal contributions.
He has been a good little acquisition. I mean, he is someone. I feel like it would be between the two of them.
Yeah.
God, can't lie. He did slip my mind, but it would be between the two of them. But I think I'd still give it to Dunk. I mean, Dunk's Malpai's 23, I think, and Dunk's like 28. Yeah. I mean, right now I feel like Dunk is an extremely good defender, which could come in and help a team out. I think he'd be good at Arsenal.
I imagine Arsenal sign Lewis Dunk and Nathan Ake.
That wouldn't even be bad.
No, it wouldn't.
I think that would be good.
I'd actually think that'd be hard to tear down.
You'd probably look at like just over 50 million for the centre back pairing, which is miles better than David Luiz and Mustafi and Socrates and all them lot.
Like, you sell David Luiz for what, 10 mil? You sell Socrates for what, 8 mil? Socrates you could probably sell for like 15 mil.
I think Socrates is the player you'd probably be able to recoup the most money from.
Yeah.
I think David Luiz stays.
I think
although David Luiz hasn't been anything pretty this season, I feel like Arsenal got him in for a quick fix.
Yeah.
For a cheap fix, and I also think they got him in for the experience. No one's denying David Luiz was once he had a lot more legs to him, didn't he? There was a lot more to David Luiz's game than there currently is.
He was phenomenal.
I feel like, again, possibly you put great players around him. You never know. Maybe he brings up. I feel like as a substitute defender.
Yeah, but would he be happy with being a substitute centre back?
He probably wouldn't. But I think you've got to realistically ask the question. He's past 30 now. I mean, he's pushing on. Like, where do you go? I feel the next move for him is back to Brazil.
Yeah.
I don't think he goes to China. I think he goes back to Brazil, plays for like a Fluminense or Santos or something. He goes to a big Brazilian club. Finish his career there, and that's exactly what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I think you've got. Yeah, I think you've nailed it on the head there. But I can't think that we can't go for Lewis Dunk on this.
Yeah, Lewis Dunk, I'm happy with that. So 14, Crystal Palace. Is this evident?
It's unanimous. Wilfred Zaha.
Yeah,
you can't look any more past it.
No, you can't really. It's gonna be Zaha. We'll have to kind of leave it at that really for Crystal Palace. Not too much to say.
There isn't.
I did have an interesting point though. Obviously, the summer transfer window happened. Zaha was very, very clearly looking for a way out. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the 3 clubs I think that were most interested, I think, were Spurs, Arsenal, and I think Dortmund may have had links to him as well.
I believe also Inter Milan was sniffing round.
That sounds about right as well. I mean, out of the 4 very prestigious clubs to end up at, I feel like he would have loved to have stayed in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And just gone to a higher club. Obviously, he started off at Crystal Palace, got the move to Manchester United. It didn't quite work out, and then went back to Crystal Palace and started making a name for himself.
Matured a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. And to be fair, he's conducted himself well. He hasn't thrown his toys too much out of the pram. It was very evident he wanted to leave.
Absolutely.
And it's still evident that Palace isn't his home, but he's still going in, he's still giving his all, and he's still trying to perform.
It's a matter of professionalism that he's bringing to this team. Like, he still goes out there, he still plays, he's still the playmaker that he's always been.
Yeah.
I just think that it's time for a move. Like, he's not getting any younger.
Yeah.
That's the thing with all these players. They're never getting any younger. And the fact that some of the players, like Deulofeu, he's still at Watford at 25, nearly 26.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you look at Zaha, he's 27. He's about to hit his prime.
I think last season was the season. My point of this was I don't think he's going to get his move. I don't think it's going to go the way he wants to. I mean, the club which I can still see going for him is Arsenal. Because but also, part of me feel like that's because Arsenal lack real direction at the moment. I don't think that's what Arsenal need at all.
It's not.
I feel that's exactly the kind of player they'll sign.
Maybe a Wolves might sign him as well. I could see him going to Wolves.
I don't think he'd go. I don't think Wolves are high profile enough for him. I think
Chelsea?
Although Wolves are a great team, even then Chelsea I'm not too sure of either. I mean, obviously he changed his nationality to go and represent Ivory Coast, didn't he?
Yeah.
I thought that was a smart move. He's going to get a lot more guaranteed game time.
Yes.
But then again though, but his stats last season, he had like 10 goals and 10 assists. I mean, and he was with those kind of stats. I mean, he would have probably walked into the England team.
Absolutely.
It's interesting. I feel he's 100% their best player, but
I don't think anyone comes close.
I don't think the move's gonna go the way he wants. Unless Arsenal sniff for him.
Very unfortunate.
What about moving on a little bit up the Premier League? We've got position number 13, Southampton, a club that I well and truly wrote off at the start of the season.
They are single-handedly, Danny Ings.
Yeah, it's Danny Ings. Credit to the manager though as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
What a manager!
He's kept his head high after that absolutely big thrashing that they took at Leicester.
Yeah.
But Danny Ings single-handedly pulled them out. Who would have thought that Danny Ings would have got 11 goals? Like, how many goals has he got this season?
He's up there. I think he's
14 goals.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
15 goals, goal contributions this season. 1 assist, 14 goals. Fantastic. Who would have thought that Danny Ings would be outscoring players like Aller, right?
Yeah.
It's really.
It's not one that was easy to predict. I'll give you that.
No, but it's a testament to Danny Ings. Like, he is 4th right now. He's just behind Aubameyang, Aguero, and Vardy.
I don't think he's necessarily going to. I mean, at first I was saying, because I was still convinced Southampton are going to go down. Now it's not looking like they're going down.
No, I mean they're 13th.
Again, Southampton are a team. I look at them and I just see nothing there really. There's nothing there which excites me. I mean, in the transfer window, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg was linked to Tottenham. And that looked like it had actual legs behind it. I thought that was a bizarre move if that would have happened. Like, what, Tottenham have no business signing him. They've got loads of midfielders.
I know.
It's like they just go and take Southampton's arguably best midfielder and just run away with him. It's like, okay, fair enough. Like, yeah, you've got yourself a decent player, but why?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, it's Ings. It's Ings.
Without a shadow of a doubt, Danny Ings is one of the better players. He's at the minute one of England's best strikers. I don't think that it's out of the question for him to be taken to the Euros.
I think it depending on
the injury status of Rashford and Kane and Vardy as well. Vardy at the minute he's got into a bit of injury trouble.
And Tammy Abraham.
Oh, and Tammy, yeah. So at the minute, England's leading striker is Danny Ings.
Ings and Murray time, boys.
Let's go. The best players in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think a testament to him. He's having a good season.
Yeah.
Newcastle.
There's a few that could be shouted out for Newcastle. However, the one player that's had an absolutely outstanding season so far, I think he could get in the PFA team this season. Martin Dubravka.
Yeah, it's Dubravka. That's what I've got for this as well.
At the moment, maybe actually no, you can't even say like Joelinton or St Maximin because they're not scoring.
I feel St Maximin had a good goal the other day against Oxford in the cup, but obviously that's outside the realms of the Prem, and it's Oxford, you know. And Newcastle were particularly poor in that game. It was a very good goal to finish it off with, but they were particularly bad. Yeah, I mean, if you look at profile, you could argue, okay, maybe Maximin, maybe Joelinton, but performances, Dubravka, there's been a few good Premier League keepers this season, really stand-up performances, and he's one of them. He's
been phenomenal this year. He's surpassed any expectations that anyone had.
Massively.
I think everyone really underestimated Dubravka in what he could do.
I think Rafa Benitez found him, but I don't know if misquote me on this, but didn't he put him up for like a Slovenian third tier side or something stupid?
I think it was around, yeah.
It was something really weird.
Rafa Benitez just knows how to pick good goalkeepers.
And I mean, whilst we're here as well, I may as well put out their credit to Steve Bruce at the moment.
Yeah, Steve Bruce is doing a fantastic job.
Again, another manager which everyone was rolling their head about at the start of the season, not really sure why.
I wrote him off. I know that
I just found it crazy. I mean, you never know. Benitez could be doing better or worse right now. We'll never know that. But I thought it was crazy.
I mean, to still have Mike Ashley there. I mean, at the start of the season, everyone was saying, "Oh, they're going to get taken over." Oh, there were fourth favourites to sign Kylian Mbappe at the start of the season.
Yeah, I saw that, but I'm not being funny. That was never going to happen. No. But it was an interesting thing to see.
A Saudi prince offers you enough money, then you're going.
Yeah, I guess so.
Newcastle get your night kits.
But Dubravka, pretty confident.
Honestly, there's no other way that this can go.
Moving up to Burnley in 11th. Again,
we're going goalkeepers again.
It's Nick Pope. Keepers.
It's Nick Pope.
Have they been the two stand-up keepers of the Prem so far this season?
They've been the most underrated so far.
I think there's 3 goalkeepers this season who I think have really impressed me, and Nick Pope's one of them as well.
Yeah, I think we might have. We're definitely going to come up to one that's in 5th position.
Yeah.
But 100% Nick Pope. He's had some of the best saves this year. He's had
just like the saves which he has just no business getting to.
He's got a very long reach. Like his
Yeah.
arms are very wide, and I mean he's kept 9 clean sheets this season with a back line like Burnley's.
I think arguably England number 1 now.
Absolutely, Nick. I mean, he's 27, nearly going on 28 at the minute.
Yeah.
I think he's got a few. I think maybe he's got a Euro in him. Maybe a World Cup.
I say arguably in there because I personally think maybe there's another one we could shout for, but I think a lot of people would probably say straight away England number 1.
Yeah, I think that you get this. Nick Pope's in there. As he's got to be your number 1, surely.
He's got to
I
be
think Southgate looking at his England teams, you've got Pickford's nowhere near there. Nick Pope is that guy, and then you've got someone that we're going to go on to later. I think, anyways. So, Nick Pope for Burnley, 100%. I don't think there's anyone else that you can shout. Ben Mee is a good... James Tarkowski, he's a very good player.
Again, Tarkowski is and Ben Mee, both of them, just no-nonsense defenders. Yeah. Defenders which, again, I find it really weird that haven't been sniffed around. I mean, fair play to Burnley, they've got 2 great defenders.
Absolutely. I mean, Ben Mee's going on, 30?
Yeah.
He's passed it a bit. But Tarkowski he's been sniffed around a bit. He's 27.
Yeah.
He's about to hit his prime, I think.
Yeah.
And then obviously you got the 2 goal machines, Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes.
Yeah.
I think they're fantastic. Jay Rodriguez also netting that absolute screamer against Man United. But
yeah, that was a great.
I think we look no forward than Burnley.
I'd agree with that. Okay, we've got Arsenal now.
We're going into the top 10.
Top 10 now. This is going to be a tough one. There's in my opinion, there's an obvious one.
Yes. Aubameyang.
It is Aubameyang is the leader. Somebody who doesn't want to be at Arsenal. No. It seems.
But he's a goal machine. You can't look any further than that.
No.
Like if we look at this Arsenal team, excuse me, you see it. There's no one in the back line that you could officially say that's anywhere near it.
No,
Kieran Tierney's too injury prone, and the rest of the team is.
I think Leno's too inconsistent.
Yeah,
but I think part of that is also the defence.
The midfielders, the only ones you could say are near there are Dani Ceballos and Lucas Torreira.
Yeah, and even then Ceballos I don't think wants to be there. I think he was looking at trying to cut the line short, but that never happened.
And then you just look towards the attackers because they're the only good part about Arsenal. Lacazette, Aubameyang, Pepe. Maybe even Gabriel Martinelli, but even then, it's a bit too soon for him.
I had Martinelli down as a special mention because honestly, I think he's been phenomenal so far.
He has. He's a very good star.
I think if Aubameyang doesn't have the goals he does have, I think Martinelli arguably may get it. I'm not even lying. But
honestly,
I'd say Aubameyang's there.
Yeah, I think Aubameyang he's played so well
over the deadline day and over the transfer window. The rumour was Barcelona were interested.
Yeah.
I feel it would have been the wrong move for Barcelona completely. I mean, obviously Luis Suarez getting on in age, possibly looking at a long-term replacement for Suarez, coming in and getting a 31-year-old with Aubameyang.
Almost 31, yeah.
I mean, the kind of the age around Suarez went to Barcelona. Right? Suarez went to Barcelona. He was getting on, wasn't he?
He was about 29 when he left us. Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting, but Aubameyang,
100%. He's great for Arsenal at the minute, and when he moves, they're gonna miss him.
Yeah. What about Wolves? Wolves. This is an interesting one because I reckon we're gonna disagree.
I've gone brain over heart here. I've gone for Raul Jimenez.
Really? Okay.
I have.
Yeah, I've gone for Jimenez as well.
But of course, my favourite player to watch in the Premier League at the minute is Adama Traore.
Yeah, really, really interesting player to watch, Traore. But again, I think Jimenez still gets it by a country mile.
Yeah, because he has actually scored in 2019. He scored more goals than Cristiano Ronaldo.
What a stat!
Absolutely. Like, he is a fantastic player.
Yeah.
Like, he's a great goal poacher. He's good from the penalty spot. He's great in the air. What a finishing talent he is. He's also got a bit of pace about him, so you can play the ball in behind for him.
I'd love to have him at United. He's the kind of striker I'd love to see.
The way that the front three of Wolves play is phenomenal. Even the front five with, my other honourable mentions are Ruben Neves, Jan Martino, and Diogo Jota.
Yeah, they're all worth a mention. I mean, they're all valuable players. I mean, even players like Connor Cody, I feel like a very good player.
Willy Bolly, Johnny, they are all they've just got Rui Patricio is one of the better goalkeepers in the Premier League
100%.
by far.
100%.
Then you got Ruben Vinagre, who's a very young midfielder. Morgan Gibbs-White is a very young English centre midfielder who is going to be world class.
Yeah.
Leander Dendoncker, absolutely phenomenal.
There's great players there.
Honestly, their team is brilliant.
It's stacked, isn't it?
They've got they can have a Champions League side within the next 4 years.
Not a lot of English players at the moment, though. That's the one thing I would say. I mean, I feel like, again, not coming from some weird Brexit mentality, but obviously, Premier League teams do need to have English players. It's one of them things which I don't think should be a rule, but I think it doesn't really. It should be unsaid.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously there's a lot of English talent at the moment. I think there's more English talent in football currently than there has been in years.
Yeah,
in absolute years. There's so many good English players coming up. So it would be good to start seeing. Maybe it's always good to see it because your mind goes, oh wow, what a player they're going to be for England at the next Euros or the next World Cup. So it'd be interesting to see a couple of English players poking around Wolves. But I mean, as a team, wow, what a team.
You can't knock it. But again, the best player by far is Raul Jimenez. Like the amount of goals that he scores, he's scored almost 50 goals now for them.
He's very valuable.
He's made 17 goal contributions this season with assists and goals. But that is definitely helped by the world class players around him. Like, you've got Neves and Moutinho in the middle. Jota's a very good passer of the ball.
Yeah.
And Adama. The dynamic between Adama and Jimenez, like all you have to do is knock the ball past the left back, cross the ball, and Jimenez is there to knock the ball in. I mean, I'm pretty sure that happened against Liverpool. It's happened against so many teams.
Time after time in the Prem so far this season.
The dynamic between those two is phenomenal, but I think Jimenez edges it because of his finishing ability.
What about Everton? If we're moving up, I think Jimenez has got it for Wolves. Everton sitting 7th at the moment.
I believe that we've missed out a place. 8th.
We have.
We've missed out Manchester United.
I'm jumping the gun. I'm missing out United. I didn't want to talk about it. Yeah, you're making me talk about it.
I mean, your best player, without a shadow of a doubt, is your goalkeeper, David De Gea.
Interesting.
Have you gone for Bruno Fernandes?
No, I can't go for Bruno. I've got a lot of time for Bruno, but I can't go for him yet. I need to see where he's at.
Who have you got?
No, I've got Rashford, mate.
Really? As your best player? You're having a giggle.
You serious? Are you seriously going to tell me that Rashford isn't the best player at United currently?
Yes.
Albeit his injury. No, it's Rashford.
David De Gea.
Don't get me wrong. I love David De Gea, and it is nothing short of a miracle of the fact he's still at Manchester United. It's nothing short of. We should thank our lucky stars every single day that he's still there, and that fax machine stopped the move. If that's real, a fax machine. What is that about? But no, it's Rashford, mate.
No, it's De Gea. De Gea. I will give you De Gea by a small margin.
A small
margin. Because Rashford isn't there yet.
No. Rashford right now is he's 22. He's pretty much. I feel like he's setting the precedent now of what he's going. He's still extremely young, and he's still got a massive playing career ahead of him. But right now, Rashford is getting to the stage where it's like we're seeing what's going to happen. He had 14 goals and 4 assists in the Prem this season.
Yeah, but David De Gea is like just a world class shot stopper.
He's world class. If Rashford didn't get injured. I mean, I'm not really speculating where United are going to finish this season. It's looking bad. It doesn't look great. We're going to have to pull something out of the bag. But in 22 games, 18 goal contributions. That's top tier stuff. That's top tier stuff.
You look at that and then you do
Rashford's
think,
one of the best players in the league.
He's definitely a top 10 player.
Yeah,
maybe not top 5, but he's definitely a top 10 player.
I'd probably agree with that.
I would probably put David De Gea in one of the best categories.
If you're gonna say to me, right, okay, the last 5 seasons, De Gea gets it, no question.
Yeah.
No, I mean, honourable mention, you obviously do have Paul Pogba floating around as well. Paul Pogba, again, is an extremely talented footballer.
I think we all forget about Pogba.
Everyone's forgotten about Pogba because he's just not been there.
Rashford has come in and replaced Lukaku, which is good to mention Lukaku because it's just come out that Lukaku, under Manchester United's medical doctors, had an unidentified malfunction in digestive system, which made him put on weight. which Man United doctors didn't pick up on, hence why he didn't play as well. So he's gone to Inter Milan.
Whatever.
He's lost half a stone, and he's tearing up the Serie A.
But I'm not being funny. Everyone knew it was going to happen. Everyone
Yeah.
knew he was going to go to the Serie A and become one of the best strikers in the league because it's the Serie A and because he's Lukaku.
Yeah.
He wasn't a bad player at United.
No.
But I'm not being funny. You come to United, you come for a big fee, and you are going to be the most scrutinised player in the league because the media love. We've said this time and time again.
That's true.
I'm not being funny. If these players were at, I'll even say Liverpool, you're not going to get the kind of. And Liverpool right now are the best team in Europe.
Yeah.
And yet, if Liverpool tomorrow made a signing for 80 million, if the transfer window was open, and he turned out to be a flop, I don't think he'd get the same criticism.
I mean, you do look at it and you sort of go, they do get scrutinised a bit more, Manchester United players, because of the calibre of the club and how bad they're doing.
Yeah, it's because there's such a decline. It's like, okay, this is the next saviour, and a lot of United's problems we all know are the balled up. That's the balled down rather. It starts at the board, but I feel like United's the best player at the moment. I don't think I can give it to Pogba. I think Pogba's going to be the most valuable player we have in terms of like what we're going to get for a fee for him. But it's Rashford, mate.
Because you obviously you love this team and you know more about it than I do. I definitely don't pay attention to this team at all.
Yeah.
I will give you Marcus Rashford based on the fact that you love this team so much, and I'm an outsider.
Yeah.
Hating this club.
Rashford. I mean, he represents so much for the club. But he's one of those players which. Again, I think if it wasn't for his mentality being a Manchester boy and wanting to stay at his boyhood club, I think we'd be dangerously close to losing him. If not already, he'd already be gone by now. Yeah. So I think we're thankfully still there. But it's Rashford, mate.
Martial deserves an honourable mention. Let's be honest. He's a decent player.
No, Martial's on his day he's a very good player. It's just I don't know. He's too hit and miss, I think, to be considered consistent.
Missing Marcus Rashford is a big blow to Martial because he can't do it all by himself.
No,
let's be honest.
Going back onto Everton now, I can finally talk about the real conversation. Everton, who have you got?
Richarlison.
Yeah, same.
It just is. Richarlison's brilliant.
Quick. Shout out to Calvert-Lewin as well,
and Bernard.
Yeah, three.
All three goal scorers of this weekend.
Yeah. Again, Everton are a club which have really good players embedded in the team. I want to give a massive shout out to Lucas Digne as well. I think Lucas Digne is a phenomenal left back.
I can't believe I forgot about Lucas Digne. Lucas Digne is brilliant.
How is he at Everton?
Carlo.
It's weird.
Maybe he had the foresight to see that Carlo. Yeah, maybe he had the foresight. Maybe he was like, I have good visions for this club. I mean, he's mid 26.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of playing time left in him. What a player he is, though.
He's a very good player.
Such a vision. He's quite quick, very good at defending. He's an all-round player. He's so good from set pieces. But then you got Richarlison, who's very quick, very good at finishing.
Yeah.
Almost becoming into this leader role at Everton now.
Digne was my number 2, and Calvert-Lewin was my number 3. That's what I had down. But I think I am still going to give it to Richarlison.
Yeah, Richarlison, we can give a shout out to Moise Keane.
Yeah, Moise as well. Decent player there.
Big Moise. He's 19 years of age. He's still got a lot of growing room. 3 goals contributions this season, but
Digne's had 6 assists as well.
He's fantastic. You can't look past Richarlison. 9 goals this season, bridging on 10. He's got 3 assists as well, so 12 goal contributions. Creates about 5 chances per game.
Yeah,
you can't really look past Richarlison, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think Richarlison gets it. I think just quickly going back to Digne, I think Digne may even get the second best left back in the league.
Trying to think of a one better than
maybe 3. I don't know about Chilwell. Chilwell's up there as well.
I think Luca Digne and Ben Chilwell are sort of. I think they're
very similar.
They're neck and neck.
Yeah.
Maybe Digne's. I think Digne edge second. I mean, no one's catching up to Robbo. Let's be honest.
I mean, Robertson and Digne both had 6 assists this season. Robertson's had a goal as well from left back. Transfer market value Robertson around 72 million. I mean, that sounds about right to me.
Yeah, we got him for what?
5.
Yeah, exactly.
Gone for 5 million.
Shall we move on to 6th in the table?
Yeah, let's do
Jose
it.
Mourinho's Tottenham. on 3. 1, 2, 3. Kane.
Harry Kane. Yep, it's easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's obviously again another injury at Tottenham at the moment. A big blow them not having Kane. A team which also have loads of superstars in there. You got Son, you got Lucas, you got Bergwijn recently signing, and Ndombele, Lo Celso.
Hugo Lloris.
Lloris is a very good shout. He's been there for a long time. You got Toby and Jan at the back.
I have a better shout than Toby and Jan.
Sanchez.
Davinson Sanchez.
Yeah, Sanchez is definitely up there as well.
He is better than both Jan Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld.
Yeah,
he edges Jan, especially.
Yeah, he edges Jan definitely. Toby and Sanchez are the Toby and Jan are the most thought of pairing, but Toby and Sanchez, yeah.
I think that would be a great pairing for them at the moment.
Harry Kane, depending on who you are, you could say the best striker on the planet currely.
No,
depending on who you are. Well, I mean, I don't know.
Not if you're me.
Most complete striker on the planet. I think there's arguments there.
I don't think he's the best in the Premier League.
You don't think he's the best in the Premier League?
No.
What, you give it to Aubameyang?
No. I'm giving it to one that.
Don't you dare say Firmino.
No.
Oh,
I'm not that
I was
biased.
Say, wow.
I will mention him as we come up more in the table. But I do think that Harry Kane is second best.
I think I may be picking up what you're putting down there, mate. There's arguments.
Harry Kane's got 11 goals this season.
Kane's got an awful lot to his game. Again, he's another player which I feel like if it maybe wasn't for his status and maybe wasn't for what he represented to the club, Tottenham fans would be worried he'd be on his way out. But I feel like the promise of a new manager, possibly, it's a very tough season this season. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Kane.
It's a rebuild for Spurs at the minute.
It's a rebuild. It's the Mourinho period. It's seeing what Mourinho can do with what he's been given. A summer transfer window for Jose will be good.
Yeah,
we'll be able to see what he does. So it's all to look forward to. But Kane confidently, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sheffield United in 5th.
Dean Henderson.
Yeah.
it's not, you can't look anywhere further than Dean Henderson. What a player he is. What a goalkeeper.
Not technically a full Sheffield player. He is at United on loan.
But
he is at Sheffield on loan from United.
Without a doubt, their best player. By far.
I'd say he's definitely been one of their better players.
I mean, you can give shout outs to. I mean, we had Lundstrom, Jonathan Fleck as well. Maybe.
It's hard individually to pick players out.
Oliver McBurney, Lys Mousset, he's having a good season at the minute.
I think for me it would have been between mainly Mousset and Henderson, but to me it's Henderson. United have got a real predicament on their hands at the moment because you've got someone of his caliber. You've got Sergio Romero, who in my opinion is genuinely the best second keeper in the league.
I mean, to be fair, goalkeepers don't really tend to have.
I think
many.
I think if Romero wasn't as injury prone as he was, because he does have, potential injury problems there. But I feel like he would be probably starting somewhere else. I feel like the injury problems keep him second. I think he's very content being the second keeper at United, but I think he's extremely valuable to have. It wasn't that long ago. He's Argentina's number one.
He had that fantastic World Cup in 2014.
Yeah,
he was great.
I was extremely pleased with the signing. I mean, off the back of the Victor Valdez fiasco when we signed him as the second, and the whole thing of that was very peculiar, but it was a great acquisition to get.
I completely forgot that you signed Victor Valdez.
Yeah, it's somebody who I think a lot of people forget. Victor Valdez was at United. It was a strange time. But Dean Henderson right now, the Sheffield number 1,
9 clean sheets this season.
Arguably United's potential number 3 until he comes back.
He's had a penalty save this year as well.
Yeah,
penalty saves, plenty of duels won in the box, a lot of aerial battles with corners. He's very good. Let's be honest.
I think he's England's number 2.
Yeah, behind it for sure, definitely.
I think what United need to do is we need to assess what's going on with Romero, because Romero is far too valuable to have at the club to be given no time at all.
Yeah.
Obviously, Lee Grant is the number 4 keeper. United, no one number 3 really. Number 3. You've got Joe Pereira at United as well, but he's out on loan at Hearts. So we need to assess what we're doing. He could end up being at Sheffield another season. But Sheffield's the number 1 player, I'd say. Going up again. Where are
the top
we now?
4 now.
We're at the
we're at Chelsea.
Who have you got?
Angola.
I completely didn't think about N'Golo. I didn't put him.
We were talking before the podcast, and you said there's no one in this Chelsea team that stands out. And I was thinking, how can N'Golo Kante not stick out?
That's weird. I did say that. I did say that, didn't I? But by that, I mean, again, I'll clarify that. I mean, I'm not saying Chelsea don't have superstars in that team. I just said that it was maybe it's the fact that they have so many good players. It's hard to pick one. Maybe because I mean, you've got a lot of players there. I said Tammy. I said Tammy.
I think Tammy Abraham is an honourable mention with Mason Mount, Willian, Christian Pulisic, Mateo Kovacic. What player he is!
Yeah, he's a good player. Jorginho's started, performing a bit better now.
In their backline, that I can see where your point. Only Cesar Azpilicueta sticks out.
I mean, in their backline, you got Rudiger and Tomori, who've both having
Rudiger's decent. Yeah, Tomori's a bit young to say the least.
Christensen's still flirting around at Chelsea.
Yeah, Christensen's still there. He's 23 at the minute. That is so bizarre that he's still that young, but
yeah, he's probably going to get shifted on in there.
I think so. I think he's a De Vries type player that's ready to just be fluttered and spread his wings. But I don't think we can look further than N'Golo Kante at this point.
No, you're 100% right there, mate. 100% right.
Yeah.
And this is going to be more interesting. The top three in the league currently, undoubtedly the top three clubs. I mean, not just in stages, but top three of games. So the results they've been getting. Who have you got for Leicester? This is interesting now.
I've gone for the top goal scorer in the league, Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, I haven't done that.
He's got 21 goal contributions this season.
He does have 21 goal contributions.
17 goals, 4 assists. He is without one of the best strikers in the Premier League right now. And I can't put any... I mean, Maddison's a very close second. However, Jamie Vardy is, without a shadow of a doubt, the heart and soul of that Leicester team. You take Vardy out, you've got no run, you've got no wheels.
Jamie Vardy is currently 33. It's hard to deny he has had a very good season. Obviously, he's picked up an injury now.
Yeah.
But, yeah...
He was a late bloomer. That was the thing. He was a late bloomer. Like, he started playing in the Premier League 2014. That was when he had that huge goal fest against Manchester United.
Signed from Fleetwood for 90k.
Exactly.
90k. No, well, 1.12 million. It's not 90k. It was 1.12 million. But yeah, I mean, it's astronomical climb and an amazing player that the Premier League have had. But I don't really think there's any future for Jamie Vardy outside of Leicester. I mean, I feel like Leicester is. What do you think he goes on to? What, like the MLS or something?
I reckon he goes to one of the Sheffield clubs.
Oh, end his career at Sheffield. Yeah, that is probably going to happen.
I reckon he will. He'll go and join Sheffield. I can't remember.
It's United, I think.
Is he a Sheffield United boy?
I think he is. Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe he ends his career at Sheffield United, like in the next couple of seasons. That'd be a storytale ending for him. That'll be how he wants to go out, end his career where he grew up. But I can't put James Maddison is a fantastic player, but
well, I mean. I will say I did have Maddison, but I didn't even have Vardy as my second. As my second. Leicester got too many players. They got too many good players.
They got Casper.
Second, I had Ndidi.
Whoa, Wilfred! I didn't even have Wilfred.
I think Ndidi is such a shout. But then again, though, it's
very underrated.
I didn't have Chilwell. I didn't have Soyuncu. What?
Soyuncu's brilliant.
Season he's having?
Soyuncu, I've only just been able to pronounce his name correctly.
Pereira.
Yeah, Ricardo Pereira is one of the better right
backs.
I've got Tillemans there.
Yeah, it's just you can keep
Mark
rifling these players. Big old Brighton. You can keep rifling these players off, and
they're great.
They are great players.
But I can't look past Jamie Vardy if I'm honest.
I don't think I can look past Maddison. This may be where we start to
butt heads.
Yeah, James Maddison has had him. Like I said, him and Grealish have both had absolutely phenomenal seasons.
Yeah,
and. I feel like I said, I don't think there's much of a future afterwards for Jamie Vardy. That's maybe high profile, but Maddison's got the world at his fingertips right now.
But then, he's 23. You look towards the future, but then, we're saying, who's the best player right now? And if you look at James Maddison's stats, he's got 6 goals this season, and he's got less assists than Jamie Vardy for a central attacking midfielder. Vardy's got 4 assists, 17 goals. And he can score with any foot. He can score in the air. He's had 53 shots in total this season. 33 of those on target.
Madson's been very active in the EFL Cup for them. He's had 5 appearances, 3 goals.
I mean, he scores good from set pieces. I won't. He's a very, very good set piece. He's very deadly from set pieces.
Yeah.
I can't put it past Jamie Vardy. He's one of, if not the best striker, one of the best strikers in the Premier League.
See, these top 3 clubs, man. There's so many debates.
It's so hard.
Am I gonna agree with you? I think I'm gonna concede for now.
Okay.
I'll put Vardy there.
I think Vardy wins it. No doubt.
All right, Vardy.
We're having a Vardy party later now.
Yeah, it's Vardy party now. Number 2 in the Premier League, Manchester City.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Sergio Aguero.
What? No. No.
KDB's phenomenal though.
KDB.
Sergio Aguero is just ridiculous. Let's go back to what you said earlier. We were talking about Tottenham. Harry Kane, you think is number 2 in the Premier League behind who?
Aguero.
And Aguero's not the best player at City.
No.
It's crazy, isn't it?
KDB is way better.
It's the best striker in the Premier League, and the Premier League being the top league in the world. So you could argue the best striker in the world
is Aguero. Yes,
but he's not the best player at his club.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm trying to do to you. I'm trying to say.
But like, I can't look past Aguero being the best striker in the Premier League. But then like Kevin De Bruyne is the best player in the I almost said best player in the Premier League. Then he might well be.
Kevin De Bruyne is top 3 players in the Premier League.
I'd say top 2.
Who with though? Oh well, actually no. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
You wait till the next club.
I don't want to know. I feel like we're gonna have the same player for the next one.
Look, Kevin De Bruyne has got 15 assists this season.
He has put up some absolutely ridiculous performances.
He has he's got let's have a look. 22 goal contributions. I mean, Aguero is phenomenal. Like, we cannot look past Aguero, what he's done.
He is in a Manchester City side which was completely, obviously Manchester City had their own history prior.
Yeah.
But in a team which came in with the money and everything, and in recent times, he is their first modern icon.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
He is their first modern icon.
Him and David Silva.
David Silva and company, the three of them.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's really hard not to look at Aguero and everything that he's done.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Aguero this season isn't having the better of the strikers this season. He is behind Jamie Vardy both in goals and assists. He's got 16 goals and 3 assists.
But who's injured right now and who's?
I mean, Aguero is going to be firing on all cylinders at this point.
19 goal contributions in 19 games.
Yeah, he is phenomenal. But then you've got KDB, who's got more than that. He's got 22 goal contributions in. How many games has he played this season?
Historically, I give it to De Bruyne 9 days out of 10.
Yeah.
Aguero is a very good arguing point of reference.
Yeah.
They're 100% the 2 most high-profile players at City.
They are too. I mean, shout-outs do go to Edison and Raheem Sterling.
Oh, shout-out also go to, if it wasn't for City, obviously, the team they are, Riyad Mahrez, Bernardo Silva, Fernandinho, the great player. Laporte. Yeah, there's phenomenal players at City.
I think the 2 players that do...
Even Kyle Walker.
Yeah, exactly. Right, this is what I said earlier. Yeah. Important right-backs. It definitely goes to Kyle Walker and another player I will go on to mention soon. But Kevin De Bruyne for me is 100% one of the best players in the Premier League.
KDB was what I was leading with at the start. I wanted Aguero in there because I wanted to hear your reference for Aguero.
Yeah,
I mean, to be arguably the best striker in the Premier League and not be the best player at your club is a very big statement.
The thing is,
there's no other club which you could argue that apart from City in that scenario.
I mean, the best player at the best player at Barcelona is a right winger, Messi. The best player at Juventus, yes, is a striker. Like, you've got players that are way different in each team. Like, Messi's the best player, but he's more a creative winger. Yeah. Ronaldo's the best player in Juventus. Maybe even the world. Like, we can argue. Kevin De Bruyne and Aguero are 2 different players, but they're they're the best at what they do in the league.
Yeah, they are.
Aguero, for me, is the best, most clinical striker in the Premier League in the world. Robert Lewandowski's just behind him.
See, it's really hard. I really like Lewandowski as a player.
Yeah.
In my rankings, it does go Lewandowski, Kane, Aguero.
I can't believe you put Kane above him, because I think Kane's a bit...
I feel like there are a lot of questions around Kane, but when Kane's fit and flying, Kane is the most complete striker in the world. He has all of his elements put into one game. That's not me calling him the best striker in the world. That's me saying he's got the most complete package to his game. Passing, distribution, awesome, great vision.
He's very good at passing the ball.
But KDB at Man City.
Yeah.
Again, massive shout out to Aguero though. But it is KDB.
It's Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah.
Now for
the champions of the league.
Yeah.
I love that we started this season, and the season that we start this podcast, my team win the league.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal. It does for you, my friend.
It does indeed.
It will be once I force you into a picture with a Liverpool shirt on, if you lose these predictions. Holding a fake Premier League trophy.
Don't forget it in me, mate.
So Liverpool best player. I want to hear your opinion on this first.
Okay. So many shouts at Liverpool. Phenomenal players in literally every single position.
Yeah.
Every single position. There is a shout for arguably the best player in that team. But in terms of player value, in terms of everything that he brings to the club, Sadio Mane.
Okay.
If you thought I was going to go with Van Dijk, I don't know. Virgil van Dijk's an awesome player. Best player in the Premier League last season, no doubt. This season, I think Sadio Mane is one of the best players on the planet currently. I think he is absolutely ridiculous. I think Mohamed Salah is, again, arguably one of the best players on the planet. He's phenomenal. I think Roberto Firmino is a very good player. I'm not saying he's one of the best on the planet. I think Roberto Firmino is a very good player. I think you've got great midfielders, apart from Henderson. I think you got good defenders as well.
I watched the Soccer AM thing about this, and most of the people there think that Jordan Henderson's the key to this team. Because he keeps the team together, right? You have Fred in your midfield, right?
I won't have a bad word said about
exactly.
Fred.
I won't have a bad word about Hendo, right? This is out of order.
Fred is coming into his own.
Fred is nothing but average, right? Yes, we put Jordan Henderson in average, but he is a fantastic player. He's a leader. What he does with the ball is phenomenal. If you single him out in a game, what he does in a game is more than both of the other central midfielders in this team do. He used to be only be able to pass the ball backwards in quotation marks, but now his range forwards, right?
He has brought a lot more to his game.
He's improved
because of the players around him.
He's improved significantly.
Because of the players around him, he's brought a lot more to his game.
I'm not having this. No.
That's not even me. That's not necessarily a bad thing. No. If you have world-class players around you, chances are you are going to be highlighted.
I mean, that is true.
And you put Henderson in like Norwich, or you put him at Sheffield, you put him somewhere else, and I swear to God, mate, you won't see him. I swear to God. He's a Liverpool lad. Was trained by Gerrard, blah, 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 blah. We've heard it all before. Again, we're going into a rant on Henderson. Henderson is not Liverpool's best player.
I mean, he's not. No.
He's not at all. He's not there.
He's going to win the PFA Player of the Year, by far. Have you?
I've seen it.
He's the favourite to win it.
I've seen the league.
He's the favourite to win it.
I've seen it, mate. If he does win it, mate, no.
If he wins it, you'll be eating your toast.
Oh. It's Sadio Mane, mate.
I have. It's definitely a toss up between Virgil and Mane, for sure.
Have you gone Virgil?
The importance of Virgil van Dijk, you can't argue. No, that's the thing.
He came. I feel like Mane has been consistent since you signed him.
Absolutely.
But it wasn't because obviously Salah came in and wow, look at Salah. Wow, what a player.
Yeah.
And that's it's true. I mean, it should be. He was a great
Mane
player.
took a back seat a bit.
But this season, it's now even though Salah has still been absolutely ridiculous this season, Mane's been somehow better than that.
I guess he just wanted to step his game up. That's the thing with Mane. Like he can be so diverse. He can take a step back. He can.
He's an extremely humble player, but he's someone who you can tell so much on the pitch just wants to play good. 100%. He just really just gives it his all.
Absolutely.
Virgil van Dijk, the signing of Virgil van Dijk represented so much for Liverpool as a club as well. But
Yeah. I mean,
I'd confidently say that my
Mane
choice
this
is-
season, 17 goal contributions. Mohamed Salah has got 14 goals. He's got 20 goal contributions this season. I think with the lack of clean sheets that we have, I might side with Sadio Mane because the clean sheets were at. I remember ranting for a bit. Like we lacked clean sheets for a while.
Yeah.
In our team, like at one stage we hadn't. Like, we've got 11 clean sheets this season, I think.
I'm extremely interested again to see, because you've won the league this season. You'll be favourites going into it next season because Man City, even though they've spent all the money they have and they've got the players they do, there's clearly still issues there, which hence why they're so far behind.
They're just injury problems. That's all Man City need to nip in the bud.
And
Injury.
then although like Leicester and Wolves are great teams, clearly there's still stuff to do.
There's leaps and bounds behind Liverpool.
And bounds, amazing clubs with leaps and bounds. Obviously, United, Arsenal, loads that needs to be doing there before they're even considered a shout again.
Yeah.
Chelsea again. I think Chelsea have edged out, but I feel like they're kind of where they are at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Sadio Mane.
Mane. I can agree there. Sadio Mane is the best player at Liverpool.
Well, there we go, guys. Going through that was a very long, lengthy discussion, but going through your choices, our choices rather that we've got for you, going all the way through. Max Aarons, Gerald Deulofeu, Sebastian Haller, Jack Grealish, Nathan Ake, Lewis Dunk, Wilfred Zaha, Danny Ings, Martin Dubravka, Nick Pope, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Raul Jimenez, Marcus Rashford, Richarlison, Harry Kane, Dean Henderson, so I had a bit of pause there, N'Golo Kante, Jamie Vardy, Kevin De Bruyne, and Sadio Mane. Good set of players there.
I think we've nailed it.
I think
However, if you disagree, leave a comment below if you leave your team below and who you think your best player in your team is, or if it's outside the Premier League, maybe you want to leave your suggestions for your best player in, I don't know, the Championship or something that we don't really cover here. But go follow us on our socials: Instagram at Average Pundits, Twitter at Pundits Average, and our business email, theaveragepundits@outlook.com, for any business enquiries.
There we go, guys. Thank you very much once again for tuning into this week's Average Pundits podcast. We've got something else to do before we finish it off.
Predictions.
We've got a few predictions to make.
So I think the first game that we do, Wolves versus Leicester.
Arguably going to be game of the weekend, arguably.
Oh, I don't know about that. There's a game on Monday.
There is a big game on Monday, but I feel like status-wise of the teams right now, I think this is going to be brilliant. What do I do? What do I think? 0-0.
Really?
I don't know. I feel like it's going to... Look, if I contradict myself, say arguably best game of the weekend, then I put a 0-0 on it. I feel like there's going to be two superpowers that cancel each other out. I think it's going to be so hard for the goals to fly in.
Really? I think it's going to be 2-2.
I think it's going to be a bit of a goal fest.
Yeah, I think so. Southampton-Burnley. I've gone 1-0 to Southampton.
Yeah,
Danny Ings.
1-0 to Burnley.
Ooh, okay, very nice.
But I think Southampton are home, so they have the home advantage. But I think Burnley are gonna get points off them.
Yeah,
they're two clubs at the moment, very kind of like mid-table, very kind of like scrappy games. This will be Norwich Liverpool. That's going to be fun.
4-0.
4-0 away from home for Liverpool. Yeah,
I think so. 4-0 to Liverpool.
3-0 Liverpool. 3-0.
Going slightly off.
Just slightly below, but it's going to be Liverpool win.
Yeah.
Villa Spurs.
3-1 Spurs. Quickly like that. Just
2-1 Tottenham.
2-1, really?
Yeah. Again, it's similar kind of results. I think I'm just looking at kind of the goals that are going to go in. I think Villa have got a goal in them, but Tottenham will edge
100%.
Arsenal Newcastle.
1-0 to Newcastle.
You're going to be the one to do it, are you?
Yep.
1-0 to Arsenal. I'm going to go on the other end. I think that's going to be a scrappy game
for that.
Yeah, well, for as happy as he can be right now. And then Chelsea Manchester United on Monday, arguably the other game of the weekend.
3-1 to Chelsea.
Oh, come on, man! Really, you're going to do that?
Yeah,
you're going to do that.
You're missing Marcus Rashford.
We're missing Marcus Rashford. Yeah, we are. I reckon
so hard. There'll be a penalty in it because Jorginho will score a penalty. I reckon.
I've got to back the boys. 2-0 Man United. Got to back the boys.
Backing the boys. Backing the big dogs.
But there we go. That is the that's your predictions for this week.
Exactly. So
There we go.
yeah.
We will be back next week. Like we said before, leave your topics below. Leave them on social media, and we will see you next time.